so I'm going to be trying something here. I'm not sure if it's going to work or not, but I thought let's give it a try. So I'm going to be working a chain, I think a chain of 4. Let's do 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I'm getting closer and closer to my watch time hours. Now I've noticed some things that I have to do some live streams to get my watch time hours. And so I guess that's where I'm a little bit lazy at, is my live streams. Because I think that's the only way I'm going to get my watch time hours. Okay, so I'm going to do 6 or 12. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's do 12. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Okay, so we've got 12 done here. We're going to go through here. Now I want to make a series of loops. I'm thinking, do I want to do 12 or just 6? That's the part I'm thinking about right now. 12 or 6. I'm not sure. I'm not quite sure yet. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do my loops. I'm going to do a short loop like this. Okay, I'm going to do a short loop. And then I'm going to do a longer loop. So I have to drop that one and pull it up like that. Okay, so I want to make it longer. So it's kind of like, sort of like tatting. Okay, so I don't want to pull it in there. Okay, I have to hold on to this right here though. I'm going to pull it up like that. I'm going to pull this through. Okay, so that's kind of how I want them, like this. Okay, so I've got 1, 2, 3. Okay, so if I do it like that though, I'm only going to have 4 points. I want more than 4 points though. So maybe I need to work this one. I'm going to work this one in the same. I'm going to work this one in the same space. Okay, so I'm going to work. Okay, I want to keep this one taller. Okay, and this one a little bit shorter like that. So I'm working a single and then 2 in the next. Okay, so this next one is going to be about the same height. So we're going to do 1 like that. Okay, let's leave that on there. Okay, so I'm going to work, I'm just going to keep with my theme going here like this. And then I'm going to push it up here like this. I'm going to pull it up higher. So I'm going to make a star. Do you see how we're making different sizes here? Now it's going to make more sense when I get it done. It'll make a whole lot more sense when I get it done here. Okay, let's go over here. I think I got a comment. I'm so excited because I got a comment. I got a comment. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Oh, you guys are leaving me comments. I'm so excited here to get some comments. Thank you. Hello, Mary Orozco, and Odie's girl. Hello, 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 hello. Okay, let me put this on all so I can see everybody who comes in and give you all a shout out here. Okay, so I've worked right here. So I've got this one. Now I need to work one more. It's going to be a shorter one, like this. And so I need to end up, not should, I need to end up with 6. That's what I'm shooting for here, is 6. So I got one more. Now I want to leave you on here. We're going to go to the next one and we're going to pull this one up higher like that. Now we're going to come down here like this, pull it up. We want to keep this one higher, this one lower. Okay, we're going to go on the next one like this. This one's lower. Now the next center one is going to be higher. We're going to pull this one up like that. And then we work a loop in the same stitch. It's going to be lower. Okay, that one's higher. This one's lower. Oh, we messed it up. Pretty good. Okay, so I'm working in the next one. It's lower. Next stitch is higher. We're going to do higher. And then we're going to do one in the same, like this. Okay, you're higher, you're lower. We're going to make you guys be the size we want you to be. Okay, so the next one is lower like this. And then this one is going to be higher. This one is higher. Okay, I hope this works. Higher, and then we're doing lower in the same loop. I hope this works. If not, I gave it my best go here. Okay, so I should have 1, 2, 3. I do. This is actually really pretty just like that. I think it's pretty like that, which is kind of funny. Okay, so where is my loop that I just... this is the confusing part. Okay, we need you. Okay, so I was planning on making a star. So what I need to do... Yes, this is going to work, I think. So I need to work a chain 1, and I'm going to work... Oh, let's do 3. 1, 2, 3. We're going to do 3 in that one. We're going to do 3 in the next one. 1. We're going to see what we end up with. 1, 2, 3. Now this next one, I think I'm going to do 6. Okay, so let's do 1, 2, 3. So it's up a little bit higher there. So you see we do have... Oh, we do have a point there. So let's do a chain 2. 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so we're going down the side. Now we're going down here. We're going to do 1, 2, 3. So this is just kind of a free-form, loopy type of a star. It's working! I am so excited. I've never done this before. And it's like, it's so much fun to do something completely different. And it actually works the first time out. 1, 2, 3. This is exciting. Okay, so now I'm at my taller one. So I've got a taller loop. 1, 2. This is exciting. 3. And then we're going to work a chain 2. And then 1, 2, and 3. Okay, now we're working 3 in each of the shorter loops. 1, we're going to end up with a star here. 2, 3, and 1. I think my new YouTube strategy is working a little bit too. I mean, it's actually bringing in views. I'm not like a Mr. Beast or anything like that. But and you know what's so funny? There is a guy, and he is so funny. He sits on TikTok and he says, "I'm Mr. Beast." He goes by a different name, but he says he's Mr. Beast. And he just sits on there. He says he has a wife, and he says it's so funny. Oh my gosh, it's so funny. I don't think he is Mr. Beast. He's bald. He's a bald guy. And he looks like he's maybe, I don't know, maybe 25, 30 years old. I don't think it's Mr. Beast, but I told him, I said, you can call yourself Mr. Beast if you want to. And he's like, no, I'm not going to do that. I don't. But he just calls himself, he says he's Mr. Beast. And then he takes his hat off and shows that he's bald. He's really, really bald. And it's so, oh my gosh, he is so funny. See, this is working. Granny, I'm not Mr. Beast. I'm not Mr. Beast. I know you gamer guys are we giving you a run for your money here? The old grannies on YouTube are giving the gamer guys a run for their money. Now, there was someone else on TikTok who actually said, there was a young gal, And she got her dad on the horn today, and he said that he needs the gaming people to stop producing war videos because people can't tell the difference between real war and fake war. So she said, so she was a captain in the United States military, and she was scared crapless because of the fact that they're on their way, they're at DEF CON 3, and she was really, really scared. And so she got her dad on the line, and he said that people can't tell the difference between real videos and gaming videos related to war. And I thought, you know what? That proves a lot right there to me, related to a lot of things. And I've said that before, that, you know, in some of the places on the internet, he's not Mr. Beast, obviously gifted. You're not Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast is, he's got millions and millions of followers. He could share some, but everybody says, oh, he's doing really, really good. Mr. Beast is doing really, really good. But now the bald guy on TikTok, he's not Mr. Beast, but he goes on there and he says he's Mr. Beast. So, we'll just, you know, I'm fine with that. I don't care. He can call himself whatever he wants to. Okay, this is cute. I like this. It is a little Oh my gosh, a starfish. I was gonna say I'm not too fond of it because it's twisting up, but you know what? I like it because it is twisting up. Because I was just thinking it's a starfish. 1, 2. I got myself a little starfish here. 3, 1, 2, and then 1, 2, and 3. Yes, thank you. I think it's really cute too. Thank you so much. And okay, we're gonna pull this in here like that, and I'm gonna attach it. Oh, look at that. It does. It looks like a starfish. Look at this. We could see it's twisting up. At first I wasn't too fond of it, but it really is a starfish. The only thing that's missing is like some eyeballs. But do starfish, I think on the back side there's like 2 things that look like eyes on the back side when they have the little lines in there. They kind of look like eyeballs a little bit. That's what I was thinking. They look a little bit like eyeballs when you turn a real starfish over. And so, but this will work for a starfish for right now, related to what I just did. I mean, it could work as an ornament too if you wanted to hang it on the tree. But I kind of like this little twisty thing that we got going on here. This little twisty part is what, I mean, and it worked. It literally worked. I love the little twist in there. At first I wasn't too fond of it. Now I've changed my mind. And it's worked out really, really good. I want to do something else. I'm going to add, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to make some chains right now. What am I going to do? I'm going to just start right here. And I'm just going to, I'm going to, I don't want to do this right there. I think I'm just going to slip stitch. So if you're not familiar with slip stitching, we are going to slip stitch on up the side like that. And so slip stitching is just putting your hook below the 2 loops like that, yarn over it, pull through all the loops at the same time. And then put your hook through the next loop, yarn over, pull through all the loops like that. And you see how it kind of blends in? And so we've worked our way, you can't even really tell. So we worked our way up here. So now I want to work see, I should have maybe left it twisted like that. I still can. Okay, so then we'd have to twist you. Maybe I can twist you on the way back around. I'll twist you on the way back around. So what we're going to do is work a chain of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, and so then we're going to do these twisted like this. And so I'm going to work a slip stitch in here like that. And then we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So do you think I can get some, like, will I be able to get some subscribers if I talk about Mr. Beast all the time? Because everybody else talks about Mr. Beast and they seem to get a lot of subscribers. So I was thinking maybe if I talk about I like that. If I talk about Mr. Beast, will I get some subscribers? Now, I don't know. Someone was telling me about a husband I had too, and it's like I don't have a husband. They said you need to worry about. I was on YouTube yesterday, and there was this little old woman about my age. And oh my gosh, I was so sad for her. And then they told me, they said, you have your own husband you need to deal with and take care of him. And so what they were saying is that she has, this other lady had the same problem that I was having with my husband. And so she was having the identical same problems. That's what I was hearing on her live stream. So she was showing, I was worried that she was going to be abused, but hopefully her relationship has not gone that far. I think they were just having a disagreement possibly, but the things I was hearing from her, from him to her was kind of alarming. And it's like people when they're old, they don't know what to do. 4, 5. Okay, so now I want to twist. Okay, we want to twist you. We're going to twist. And this, I like this. I like the twisty part. I like that a lot. See, that's pretty cool. And so we're just doing a free form. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so yeah, and so this one is this direction, but we need to twist. We need to add the twist in here. So we're going to put it in here like this. We're going to twist, and so now that's what I said we're going to do it at the end. We sure did. We got all of our twists in here. Do you see that? So we've got sort of a medallion thing going on right now. And we're just going to keep going, and we're going to work single crochet 10 maybe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And then I'm going to work 1 single crochet in here. So we're going to end up with probably 11. Yeah, that looks pretty good, and it's not too tight either. Okay, so obviously Gifted says, me, Mr. Beast, is a clown government agent being pumped by the system. I'm not sure what that means, that he's being pumped by the system. But I know that the Secret Service calls their bulletproof car Mr. Beast. They call it the Beast is what they call it. And I think that that's probably where that came from. And it's just gotten really, really big because the Secret Service referred to the president's car as the Beast. I mean, so that was something that we always heard. And of course, people on YouTube are going to, take everything apparently that the government does and utilize it in some way, until it becomes a really popular trend. And, I've yet to find something. Well, actually, I did find something that I thought was a trend, and it is a trend. But somebody wanted to, they thought something else and decided to be a jerk. And so I have issues with that individual person who did what they did, because it's like, well, it is political. And it's like, well, my gosh, you just ruined things for yourself. If you want to have any future political career in anything, I'm going to be that person who's there saying, well, right, wait a minute, look what you did to me when I was trying to create a job, and I was trying to create my American dream, my United States dream in my country, And you, as a politician, decided to shit on those of us on the internet. And so that's what I have right now, among just a few things. I mean, because I have a few of a lot of things that maybe there will come a point one day when I get somewhere, maybe there won't, I don't know. Um, because there's a lot of things that I saw wrong. And, some people have said that a lot of these government agents now are having to sit through First Amendment audits because they wanted to be jerks and say that people on the internet were doing something wrong. And now they're finding out what the First Amendment is in some ways. Because they think that they're so great at their jobs. It's like, well, you know what? Look, give me your job and I'll make $300,000 a year sitting on my ass all day doing nothing. Because that's pretty much what they do, except they have something bubble up and then they want to look important like they're doing something, which they're not. And other than causing problems. So they're making all this money. They're making all this money from the taxpayers, several $100,000 a year working a couple hours, doing nothing, and then they're hurting those of us on the internet who are trying to do something new and different. And that's like, oh, well, you guys need to get off the internet and get a real life. And it's like, well, if I made the type of money that you do, wasting my time and your time, you're wasting. As far as I'm concerned, they're government workers. A lot of them are worthless pieces of fucking shit. As far as I'm concerned. The military is probably the ones that are not. The GS workers who are making $200,000 a year working for airports, pushing around trash bins, and they work for 1 hour a day and make $200,000 a year. They're worthless pieces of shit. So that's just where I am. That's where I'm going to land my plane on that one. That's the thing we've learned now from TikTok is that's where we're going to land our plane with the end of the conversation to make someone happy. So we take. Actually, I never had a problem taking turns having a conversation with anyone before. It's just that the government workers, the anti-government of the PSYOPs operation that's taking place on TikTok right now, they're the ones doing it. So it's the government. There really truly is a PSYOPs operation going on. It's the government who has become anti-American people. And so they've deployed the government agents, I guess the FBI or whoever, against the American public on TikTok. And they're anti-job. So this is what it's called, is anti-job. So the actual government itself is anti-housewives having jobs, creating your own job, doing something on the internet, teaching crochet. They're anti-mom, they're anti-grandma. They're against all of us because they don't want us to have a job. Because you know why? It's like, oh my gosh, if she has a job, then we can't find some woman to exploit again and take advantage of her. And we're going to force that woman into a Sharia law marriage. So the United States government has become its own. There is some factions of sovereign citizenship inside of the United States government. I hear it every day. And these people make me nauseous and sick to my stomach when I listen to them. That's why when I listen to some of those hardcore lefties and the things they talk about, it's like that's sovereign citizenship shit straight out of the Middle East. And they're pushing this indoctrination, and it's like there's even like national Christian nationalists who are pushing this sovereign citizenship stuff too. And I am so sick of it. I am really, really sick of it. I mean, so and then when I don't like Josh Hawley, it's like that. If he would keep his mouth shut, I would like him. If he just wrote things down and held up a sign, I would like him. He's the problem with TikTok right now, because when I listen to TikTok, I hear Josh Hawley and Trey Gowdy and Ted Cruz and them yelling and screaming at each other. That's what I hear. And that's what TikTok has become, is the lefty politics is basically what it is. And then they're kicking everybody off of the panels too. And so TikTok is nothing but a lefty psyops operation straight out of the United States government right now. I mean, it is so toxic. The United States government, toxic. The Republicans and Democrats, both toxic. Toxic cesspools of petri dish bullshit. Shit and bullshit upon shit is what they are. They're big pieces of motherfucking shit. And so I have nothing nice to say about them. So when they just want to deflect about helping people who need help, they're the problem. You know, someone needs to send them a whole bunch of cans of cockroach spray, and give them a whole bunch of cockroach spray, and then tell them to spray it on their own chairs. There in the halls of Congress. You know, if they could get that as a hint. They probably won't. I said today that I really believe and think that there was a guy yesterday who told me that the politicians are living in their offices. I said, I think they should have to live in the military barracks. And then he said, yeah, but with all that protesting, he said, you'd have too many people wanting to come into the barracks. And I said, yeah, that's true. We don't want to expose the soldiers to that kind of stuff. So really, the politicians should have some old World War II barracks where there's no soldiers living in it, but they have to live in some old, moldy, dilapidated, leaking barracks that's crap. And they shouldn't be able to live in their offices. That's kind of what I'm thinking right now. That's just where I'm going to land my plane on that one. Because they should have to live in a crappy cesspool. They shouldn't be able to live in their office. I don't think. I mean, I don't get to live in their office. I pay taxes. I should be able to live in their office. And I wonder how many of them have homes. Some of them might, some of them might not. I don't know. I have no idea if they do or not. I don't know, did I ruin my video? I hope not. I hope I didn't completely ruin my video. I can actually silence it, I think. I think I can silence some of the video or put something over it maybe. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I can if I ruin it too much. But I think that I can do, in the future once the video has finished processing, I can actually stop having a brain fart maybe and get out of my mouth what I want to say. I think I should be able to put something else over it so that I'm not talking about this stuff, because I'll probably forget about it by the time the video has processed. I'll forget about what I was saying. But, the thing is, it's like, it does make me mad. I mean, because the thing is, it's like, but what good does it do to get mad? Because it's like they're not listening, and problems are getting worse for the American public while they're sitting there on their billion-dollar butts, just pandering to, licking the balls of rich people. That's all they're doing. And, but the lefty movement can't stand the lefties at all. The stuff they're doing is toxic garbage. Toxic garbage. But, I think it's kind of nice. I told the guy yesterday, he kind of looked like Mary Hart's ex-husband. Yeah, he did. He looked like Mary Hart's ex-husband. What was his name? Hart, I think, was his last name. No, Sugarman? I think Sugarman was Mary Hart's husband's ex-husband. I don't know. Anyway, Mary Hart from Entertainment Tonight, that she had an ex-husband, and the guy kind of looked like her ex-husband. And so he was a really, really nice fella. I mean, just loved talking to this man. He said he was 69 years old. And so he and I talked for a long, long time. And then he finally says, well, it's been good talking to you, but I got to get back to teaching. So a lot of times what they have is these people who are, they've got a, they've got kind of like a ghost type of an image that's going on, so you can't fully see who they are. They're on screen, but they're not on screen enough to fully identify who they are and what they look like. And so sometimes they pop in a little bit, and then sometimes they pop back out. It's kind of that thing, like we've had these discussions about people even from 5 years ago. They'll say, "Oh my gosh, the person don't even look the same at all. They don't look the same. I can't tell who you are. You look completely different from what you did 5 years ago." And so, which that's kind of funny, you think about it, but I mean, that may or may not be entirely, well, for people who don't know you, that's going to turn out to be true. If it's somebody that you've met and you know in person, you're probably going to recognize them. But someone that you don't know, someone that you've just seen on the internet, so it's likely that you're probably not going to recognize them as the same person. They might be someone that you think, especially if they've aged that much or something, or changed their appearance in some way or something, you're probably just not going to recognize them as the same person. So I do agree with them to varying degrees that people's appearances do change within 5 years of looking completely different. But like my own family, I can recognize them. But people I haven't met, though, such as, how would I, well, an in-law of some sort that I've never met, then it's like, well, then there's other people who look like that person. I've never met them in person. So there's a lot of people who look like them. So I don't know. I just know what they look like, but I just don't know if that's them or not. I see things that look like them, but I just don't know. Because there's so much AI manipulation. It's like, well, there's a person who looks like them, a lot of them. So, and any of you who've been on the internet now with the AI age, we all kind of see the same thing. Oh, this is really pretty. I like this. It kind of looks like a turtle too. It really does. The center part. If I would have, oh my gosh, if I would have done 5 instead of 6, unless this is a tail. Well, we could do that. I could do that because turtles have a tail, so they do have six appendages on it. So there's the head, and then 4 legs, the head, 4 legs, and a tail. So it could be a turtle. That's sort of cool like that. And so, okay, so I'm just working around. I'm doing free form here. So I'm working chain 3s and then a single crochet in the next stitch. This is just something I'm making up. I don't have anything that I'm following specifically at all. So it's just an exercise to do single chain 3 and then single crochet like that. It would be sort of cool, I guess, if AI just completely eliminated my political speech out of this video altogether. If it could do that. I don't know if it can or not, but if it just puts some, I mean, I'd be happy with a little breathing or mumbling or something like that, as far as that goes. For the diatribe that I just had, if there's a way to just completely eliminate it out of it altogether. And there's silence even. Sometimes I just need to vent. And then sometimes I think, gosh, I wish I would have just left that stuff out of the video and not even said it. I don't know if AI can do that. It should be able to separate the tracks, I would think. Because AI can separate. I know it can. I absolutely know it can. It can separate breathing. It can separate dialogue and speech. I'm not sure about, as far as eliminating. And I'm pretty sure I should have the ability to just delete and silence the track. I'm thinking I should be able to silence a track. I've had some strange things, though, come up in my account before, so, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if AI could completely eliminate everything I just said. Because a lot of people don't like politics, and they don't like it, but then they end up talking about it, and that's where we're at. They said everybody is talking about it now, and we're tired of it. I know I'm tired of it, but we're talking about it at the same time, but even though there's nothing to talk about. That's the thing for me. It's like, my gosh, I'm tired of talking about something that is not relevant. Nothing is being solved. Nothing is helping us in how we need to be helped. But yet we're told we have to talk about this stuff. And I am so tired of legacy media. I am so tired of them. And especially these ones on TikTok who are telling us how we should be voting. I mean, the thing they do is it's like they want your name, your age, your birth date, who you voted for, and I'm thinking here somebody. Let me see here. Let me go over here. See, Lone Wolf is not showing up for some reason in my chat. Lone Wolf is not showing up. Okay, I see Lone Wolf on the outside chat, but Lone Wolf is not showing up with my logged in version. So I have to go to incognito to see Lone Wolf. So I wonder what Lone Wolf has done. Maybe, I wonder what, I mean, I don't have Lone Wolf blocked. Well, Lone Wolf must have done something that YouTube didn't like or something. So Lone Wolf is ghosted on my channel. But when I go to the logged out version, I can see Lone Wolf. So a Lone Wolf, I don't know what you did. I'm not doing it. And it's like I see your comments that you leave me on my videos. So I don't know what's going on there. I've had some decent conversations with Lone Wolf. Nothing bad or anything that I've ever seen. It's not something that I'm doing. So Lone Wolf, if you're still here, YouTube is shadow banning you. And I've suspected that I've been shadow banned too sometimes. I don't know why. I just felt that way. I don't know what I did. Well, the only thing YouTube told me, or I don't know if it was YouTube or one of their robots told me to not leave comments, basically. That's what they were telling me, that I was leaving too many comments and in the live streams. And it's like, well, gosh, just because I write something, we were all kind of doing the same thing, and we're describing stuff. That's what they told us. It is really cute. Thank you. Thank you. We were just leaving comments in the live streams. I mean, because YouTube had told us, and Google had told us to describe things in details. I'm glad to find out I'm not the only one who is hearing this stuff. And they're right. The other guys said the same thing. Then YouTube told us to go to different places, which they did. They told us to go to different places, so people have gone to different places and gone to different websites, and that doesn't work, because, well, the thing is, we like YouTube, and the thing we know for a fact is that we're starting over at other websites, and that doesn't do anything for us. It's like, well, why would I go on X when X isn't going to pay me anything? I don't want to go on X. We were told about all these jobs that were going to exist for us, and there's not the jobs don't exist, so why? Well, then come to find out, this is what I found out, is that this is why Silicon Valley has brought in the people from foreign countries, because they can pay them cheaper. They can pay them next to nothing. So then they have a girl from India watch me how to do this crochet, and then they have her do it, and they'll pay her less money. That's what's happening. That's what's happening. So it's almost like now I feel like that then that YouTube and Google and the internet is like, well, we don't want to pay United States people because we have to pay, we don't have as much big of a budget if we pay people in the United States. Well, why doesn't India pay their own people? That's what I'm thinking. If they can make this work, India needs to have their own internet. Shouldn't they? Because that was my understanding. What's the point of having a bunch of people from India on a United States website? Because they're supposed to have business in their own country where they can utilize the internet kind of the same way that we do in the United States. If they don't have the business, then they just have an internet, but they're not going to be able to monetize anything. If they don't have the business, if they're not interested in it, they're not interested. I mean, that's kind of what I think. So why are we responsible for paying them to have YouTube channels? That's the thing that I'd like to ask, because then it does come to be stolen money. That's how I see it. It's stolen money when they're taking it from people in the United States and paying it to other countries. It's stolen money. It was supposed to create jobs for people in the United States, not other countries. And so it's a fact. It turned out to be true. You know, the USAID thing, and I even think Bill Gates was guilty of that too. And taking money, then they're exploiting people. They're trying, well, see, let me tell you this little secret. And see, I can go on about this for a long time. And so, related to Wall Street, if they want to expand their business, they have to take it to foreign countries. So, for example, Bill Gates, when he was doing, people were saying that he was doing these vaccinations and stuff in foreign countries. Well, if that's, so he may have been doing that under the guise of trying to expand. So he goes into a foreign country. Now, doesn't this sound like a predator to you? So Bill Gates goes to a foreign country with vaccinations. He gives them vaccinations for free under the guise of helping them do something good. And then he brings the internet into their country. And then he gets them doing jobs in their country. So he has them doing jobs on the internet. So Bill Gates, I think Bill Gates had something to do with some of this thing where people from foreign countries and foreign nations have this belief that subscribing to a YouTube channel is a job. Because that's what they believe. And I think Bill Gates had something to do with this. I really do. So I think it was something before Disney did it. Or Disney and Bill Gates were doing it together. And, that's just a theory. It's just a theory that I have. Okay, so now I'm going to do a series of, I'm going to make some loops. And so I think that explains, because people were talking about Bill Gates and all these vaccinations and things, and that never made sense. It's like, well, why would Bill Gates do all these vaccinations? I mean, that sounded like the thing from back in the 70s where you saw the TV commercial and all these people who were in foreign countries getting vaccinations, and then they had the thing where they put something in their eyes because they said they were malnourished. It's like, well, gosh, we have people in the United States who are malnourished too, who don't have a place to live. And so it's like, what's the difference between where you do this stuff at and why are you not creating things for people in the United States? I mean, everybody is asking the same question. It's like, it's like, why do we want to keep putting bad money into foreign countries who don't want to take an interest in their own country to make it thrive, to make it survive, but yet those of us in the United States, well, you know why? Because these corporations want to make more money, and they're trying to make money off of nations who don't want to monetize their country. They want to do trade, they want to do business, but they just don't want to monetize their country. That's what I'm thinking. Because working with the United States, it makes the dollar, it devalues the price of the dollar for people who are United States citizens, but for foreign nations, then they can buy the United States really cheap. But I read something today that said somebody from the UK purchased, the UK, United Kingdom purchased something, and it went down. It was related to Wall Street. And so there was some type of a problem related to something that the United Kingdom bought something through Wall Street. And then there's some sort of a problem going on. And so it was a little blurb. I watched a tiny, tiny bit of Fox Business today. In fact, I had Fox Business on for a little bit, and then it disappeared. I shut the TV off, then turned it back on, and then it was gone. It's like, well, that's weird. Why is it that Fox Business is on briefly, and then it just disappears? When I turn the TV back on again, then Fox Business is gone. So the only thing I could think is it's one of those rotating things. Because I noticed that the last time that I had cable TV, I noticed that even on my own, there was some rotating channels that sometimes they would be on for a little bit and then they'd be shut off. And that's what I was thinking. I must be dealing with something like that where there's some type of rotating cable channel that comes on for a little bit and then it gets shut off. So they have programming and then they don't have programming. Something like that. Okay, so I'm making a whole bunch of loops here. That's what I got, a whole bunch of loops. It looks like a big mess, but I think when I'm done, I think it's going to look okay. And so okay. Thank you for the thumbs up, those of you who have given me thumbs up and have not given up on me. I like the thumbs up and the engagement. It's kind of nice to have a little bit of help every once in a while to getting things to going back off again. I'm really, really close to having 3,000 watch time hours, but I still have a ways to go getting it within the period of time. So I have quite a long ways to go yet before I get my 4,000. The 4,000 is what I want because the 3,000 is not really going to do anything for me because 3,000 is more like the emojis. So unless there's a way that I would be able to get paid, I just don't know if, I know they said that that's a way for people to get paid early or something. And so, but I'm not a nonprofit. And, I think that's a weird thing to have to ask people for money. And I'm just not comfortable doing that. I'm not a nonprofit. The only thing I'm a nonprofit in the sense of that I'm a human being and I've not monetized myself in that sense related to, branding myself. I never branded my personal name. I created a fake name to brand. I didn't brand my personal name. I'm glad I didn't do that. That would have been worse if I would have branded my personal name into something, which I wouldn't have done that though, because that just seemed too weird. But then I started using my personal name and that was a bad idea. That was a really bad idea. But, I do have to agree with what a lot of people have said. They said, when you're making people upset about things that you do, and it's the future of things that we're all going to do and are doing, you're on the right path, So but the thing with deleting my original YouTube channel, I still have mixed feelings on that because it's like, well, on one hand, I didn't want my ex-husband watching it because the thing I'm thinking is like, okay, so I'm the one who's homeless now and I'm the one who then is exposed. And so then if he was to find out where I'm at, and that was kind of the thing when I had my original channel and someone was asking me, they're like, well, aren't you afraid that he's going to see where you're at? And I thought about that. And I thought about that, and I thought about that for quite some time, and I thought, yeah. So I kept really tight shots. I kept really, really tight shots in, but I was recording outside of a hotel window. This was 5 years ago. I was recording outside of a hotel window because I saw something else going on, which kind of tied in with the migration thing when I was recording out the window, and of where I was living at. I was recording out the window and watching them build the houses and things like that. And so I was looking out the window and I thought, well, why are these people running down the road? They look like migrants. And they literally were. This was during COVID. They were dropping them off on this long road, and right next to the hotel where I was at. And they were running down the road, and then they would work inside of the hotel is what was going. I don't think all of them worked in the hotel. I just think some of them were working in the hotel. I think some of the other ones were just staying with them. And so, but like right now, one of the things for me, like I'm having a hard time finding help getting my car started. I need my car started because there's things I need to do. And because we had some cold weather, I've not been able to find how I'm going to get my car started. And so it's not been started for a month now. And it's like, well, when you're homeless, it's like, hello? I mean, and so many people have been so crappy to suggest, oh, you should be sleeping in your car. You need to be sleeping in your car. It's like, well, if that's something you want to do, you do it. Why are you telling me I should be sleeping in my car? I can raise awareness to homelessness without sleeping in my car. But at the same time, it's like, well, then you're going to freeze to death. But then on the other side of it, the thing I think, well, what good is creating a trend for homelessness on the internet if nothing is going to come out of it? I mean, it's a fact that we have homeless people. It's a fact that we have homeless people. But who on the internet, there's no politicians who are going to care about that. They talk about it. They talk about it for their own numbers. That's all they talk about it for, is their own numbers. Well, maybe we can get some more money for this area. We'll build more houses. More money's going to go to Wall Street, and then the price is just going to get higher, so nobody can afford to move into that apartment. Nobody can afford to buy that house. But Wall Street has gotten fatter. Wall Street has made more money, and then some idiots from the sovereign nations, from the sovereign citizen movement, which is Wall Street for some instances, they've made more money, and people in the United States are still homeless. Now, I've been called a conspiracy theorist because of that, and it's not true. It's not a conspiracy. The FBI recognizes it. Now, when I say the FBI recognizes it, people get pissed and they're like, oh, well, you're crazy. So Wall Street, I believe, is behind calling people crazy. So when you find out the truth, they want to call people crazy. They want to say you're a lunatic, that you need medication. Why do they want to do that? Because they don't want to get caught. That's why. So they call people on the internet when we know what's going on. They call us crazy. I think they've done that to Hollywood too. So this is my future signaling for people who are in media on YouTube now. Going to be met with the same thing and the same demise that Hollywood celebrities are met with. So anybody on YouTube who gets mega famous like Mr. Beast, he would be someone you guys need to look out for. I'm sure he can handle himself because he's a dude. And he's probably a billionaire with as many subscribers as he has on his channel. He's a young guy. He's ripe for being exploited by these nincompoops. And so you might need to look out for Mr. Beast so he don't get exploited. Because because I've been told that not all of them are part of networks, and so Mr. Beast might not. I've heard he might not be part of a network, so I don't think that, you know, I don't know. I just know that because of his name, he's got a lot of people, a lot of people following him. It's like, well, good grief. You picked a really good name, that's for sure. Beast, Mr. Beast, you picked a really, really good name to make yourself famous off of Mr. Beast. And so, okay, we're working on our loops here. We're working on a lot of loops here. We got a lot of loops going on. And, okay, one, and we're looping them through. It's going to be, my goodness, it's going to take us a while to get through all of these loops. 1 and 2, and hang on a second here. Okay. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, and 3. And 1, 2, and 3. And oh my gosh, I'm almost done. 1, 2, and 3. So close to being done here. My goodness, this one's taken a while. And it's not from me just talking either. It's just because there's a lot of loops on here. Okay, so I'm going to pick up these loops here. I hope I don't mess it up too bad, because if I accidentally pulled those out, I would end up with a big, big mess. I'd probably just end up with, yeah, a big mess. That's what I'd end up with. Okay, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so let's see here. Let's get back. We got to put U loops in through here like this. Okay. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, and 3. Oh, we're so close here. We are so close. So close to being done here. Not done, but so close to this round being done, actually. Okay. We're so close to being back around to the beginning here. That's what we're so close to. Okay. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, and hang on, and 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And let's see, we're so close to being back around to the beginning. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is, I think I'm going to do this in increments of, let's see, yeah, 4. I think what I, yeah, 1, I will attach up there 1, 2, 3, 4. So we got kind of that broomstick thing going on here. I think 4 should be enough, but I'm not positive. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see. Yeah, that looks like it might be enough. So this is how to do the, technically this is how to do the broomstick without the stick. Took me enough years to figure this one out. 2, 3, 4. I used to use that great big old broomstick, and then it's like, then I did this loop a few years ago, and I didn't think about it related to the broomstick, and it literally works. So we don't need a broomstick to actually do the broomstick lace. 3, 4. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you see what we've got going on here? That's pretty. And it seems to be working pretty well too. It's laying down nice and flat. Now it does look like a big mess here, but I think when we're done, we should be able to see that it's not as big of a mess as what we really have right now. But that's how all artwork is. We have a big mess before it gets to be a not of a mess, not as much of a mess. 3, 4. So I really need to break this part out and focus on the broomstick lace from the old-fashioned way to this way, because the broomstick lace was all, you know what the thing is? It's selling a product. So with crochet, they always want to sell a product with it. And which I would think the hooks would be enough, but the crafting communities now, they got quite arrogant, I kind of think. Maybe there's some other people who will talk about it similar to what I think. They got very arrogant when it came to crafting, and so did the crochet companies too. So what they did, the crochet companies started raising their prices on the yarn, and I don't know why they started raising their prices on the yarn. They just did. So they wanted to profiteer off of the backs of those of us who are crafters. Ding dong is right. And they wanted us to share their brands on social media without them paying us. That's the one thing I noticed. The yarn companies never wanted to pay anybody. They wanted to have one sponsor and someone just pushing a yarn brand blindly and sharing their brands on social media. So I've said, let's stop sharing their brands. Just stop. We don't have to share their brands, any of them. And so then some of the stores started having all these other products. So they want to have a store with a bunch of crafting stuff in it. Now, there's nothing wrong with that, actually. Or even, it's like a lot of stuff I found I thought it was kind of like office supply stuff. With a lot of crafting stuff, you could see it as office supply things too. And, the paper and, so some stores might be able to work as standalone. Others might not be able to. Some of it's kids crafting. But you know what? When you have someone else who is cutting things up for you, so for example, the thing they call the fat quarters, which is in fabric. So you'll find fat quarters in some of the big box stores and in some of the big box, going out of business stores too. I think what was the name of that store? I think it's since gone out of business. So some of the stores, it seems like they open up just to help another store go out of business, and then it goes out of business. Big Lots. I think Big Lots went out of business. So Big Lots was one of those stores that actually would take a lot of products that was a one-time sale. So I think they were the SPACs. And so they were the special purpose acquisition companies, which would help another company go private, and then either it would completely go out of business because it went bankrupt, or it was just going to the completely private. But most of them just completely go out of business because they're not making money. And so Big Lots, I think, has since gone out of business. So it's almost like temporary stores are being created to help another business go out of business. That's kind of what I'm seeing in the retail spaces, because things are so expensive that none of our stores can even stay in business right now. So that means that, you know what that means? That Wall Street is not doing good related to the retail space at all, because they're too greedy. They're too greedy. Prices have gotten so expensive. Well, they're trying to cut out the middleman though too, which is, I mean, that makes sense because the retail space, the rent is too expensive. Well, you know what? This is another thing I just thought about. So the rent price that a retail store has to pay, they're going to pass that off to the consumer, aren't they? I've never voiced this before, but it's something I'm going to voice now. That if a business has to pay rent, they're going to pass that cost off to the taxpayers, and in higher costs in food products. So if they're a grocery store or something like that, that's the nature of the beast of what they do. There's Mr. Beast again, the nature of the beast. And so, yeah. So the thing about Wall Street and raising prices, it just doesn't work. It doesn't work for the United States, and it doesn't work for other countries either, because if they just keep raising prices higher all the time, then they're actually hurting consumers, the people who live in the country. And the ones who fight really hard and say the nastiest things are the ones who are profiteering and price gouging their own self, who are making money from it, which is Wall Street people. I can't stand being around them at all. I can't stand it because they're nasty, they're toxic, and I think some of them are on TikTok too, but I'm not positive. But they're nasty and toxic, and I've seen them on YouTube as well, and they're the fast talking loudmouths, kind of like Josh Hawley. So I don't know if Josh Hawley has money issues or if he's on Wall Street his own self, but that's what he sounds like sometimes, is one of those high-pitched sounding, those fast-paced talking people who is selling you something. And, but the funny thing is, it's like, well, okay, they said he's never been in media before. It's just there's something about him. It's like I want to like the guy. He's one of those guys I want to like because it's like if I don't have to listen to him, I like his policy. But then when he opens his mouth and he gets really, really toxic and nasty towards people, now he can be nice when he wants to, just like Ted Cruz can be nice when he wants to. But, it's the same thing on that other side, though. I don't like those two women. I don't know what her name is. The one that's Muslim from the other country, and they said she's illegal, and they said she's not even a United States citizen. Ulan Ilmar, or whatever her name is. I don't like her, and I don't like that other woman who's with her. I don't like either one of them because they're just as toxic and nasty as Ted Cruz and Josh Hawley. And even Trey Gowdy, I thought he was nasty. And Tom Cotton, he was nasty too. And, they're not people that I would actually vote for in the future. Because after all of this, You know, they're just plain old nasty. And it's like this comes out in our media too. I mean, so the TV stations felt like they could be nasty to people because the politicians are being nasty. And then it just comes out in all sorts of different places. Oh, because the president's doing it, that's why they're doing it. And it's like, well, I mean, that doesn't play out very well for television and people wanting to participate in much things. And I think the people on TikTok now are finding that a couple of years later, now that they've said and done the things that they do. You know, now they're forcing that thing of, oh, well, which state are you from? Did you vote? If you didn't vote, they kick you off their panels. They just kick you off. Oh, you don't count. I mean, every last one of them. If you say you didn't vote, you know, it's like, so I've gone up on TikTok panels and I've just said, well, is this where you kick me off now because I didn't vote? Oh, there was a lady today. She had a meltdown. I mean, she kicked me off her panel. She asked me where I was, what state I was from and all that stuff. And then she says, I didn't hear you. And I said, I said, well, I said, that's not my fault that you didn't hear me. I said, I answered. And one of the other people had me muted. They muted me. And they were asking me questions, but they had muted me. And I said, you're the one who muted me. If you wanted to hear what I had to say, you wouldn't have muted me. And so what's the point of even just kick me off your panel? That's what a lot of times that's what I tell them. And that's what they're doing too. They are so nasty and so toxic. It's like, my gosh, it's like no wonder people are upset, you know, because nobody can have a real conversation. Now, something is fueling this. Something is fueling this toxic energy and this toxic nature. I don't know that it's all coming out of politics. It seems to be coming out of the government psyops, and because a lot of them are angry too, and they're literally, you know, the thing I've listened to, what I keep hearing is every time I go past one of them, they're like, "Oh, your channel looks like artificial intelligence." And I have to wonder, it's like, well, why? What am I doing that makes you think that my channel is artificial intelligence? Just because I use a little bit of AI in video and a little bit of AI in some short videos and things. I can't do live streams on TikTok right now, and I really don't want to, because that's not where my heart's at. You know, if I can't make something work on YouTube, then it's just not going to work. But maybe I'll just keep doing what I'm doing. And I mean, well, it didn't work. It did work the first time. It's just that to me, it surfaced what kind of shitty ass man I was married to. I mean, so it's like, well, I mean, this country has a much larger problem, you know, and I've talked about that with my own marriage. It's like, well, if you can't do things to help women, we have no equality. Women have no equality. And when you tell that to men, they're like, oh, yes, you do. Get off the internet and you have equality. It's like, what? Being married to you? No, thank you. I don't want to be married to you. That's not equality for me. That's not equality. I don't want to be married to you. You're disgusting. You're a pig. You stink. I don't want anything to do with you. I mean, so you really think that just getting a bunch of women off of the internet, and you really think that women are going to want to be involved with you? No, thank you. I don't think so. And that's what they're mad about. That's what a lot of these men are mad about. Now, there's other ones who actually want to do something to help people. But a lot of these other ones are church folks. The church folks are Sharia law. I mean, they are gross. They're disgusting, and they're gross, and they're only after kids. They're after the hearts and minds of kids. They're after the hearts and minds of women because they want to get a woman trapped up into something. And they're losing their business too. That's what's happening. A lot of them are losing their church business, and they can't get the money they used to get. So they have to find a real job. Now they're finding out that, well, maybe what they were doing is not working out so well. you know, because they're toxic by nature. And so they're actually kind of hiding out. So some of these spiritual leaders are kind of hiding out under other topics now. They're saying that they're spiritual leaders, but they're using different topics, and they're not just coming right out and saying they're church. And they're like, "Oh, well, didn't you realize when you came up here that I'm church?" And I'm like, "No, I didn't realize. I didn't know that." But they're using different things. Okay, so I'm just about done here. Yeah, this last one I got 5. Some of them I might have had 5 or 4 loops. It's still gonna work. This is really, really pretty. 3, 4. It's a little bit full. Let's see what we've got here. This will make it just a nice doily too. Let's secure the loop. And look at what we got. Oh, ruffle. Yeah, we got a ruffly. So that's kind of what we've got here as a ruffle. So what I could have done was actually, I probably could have gotten away with doing 5. I probably could have hooked on 5 loops. But right now the ruffle works though, because the ruffle, I wasn't sure how it was going to turn out, but we've got a ruffle here. And so this would be really pretty with a vase. Do you see the ruffle here? And so we can kind of ruffle this around like this. And so we've got, if we did this with lace, you could put a vase in the center of it, a crystal vase of some sort. And if you wanted to keep on making it larger, if I wanted to add on and make it larger, I would start another round of loops back there. But I think this, just like this, is nice. I like that. I might not use yarn. I'd use something else than yarn, because with a vase, you'd want to have a heavy crystal vase on the center so it doesn't fall over. Because with these right here, if you have something that spreads out kind of big, then it's not going to fall over. But if you have something, that's one of the hazards of using yarn with glass or something, that there's always a risk of it falling over, unless it's just a doily that has, that's just something for decoration purposes. But I like that. Let's see if we can't get the ruffles. Yeah, that's pretty good. Or we could lay them down too, like this. We could lay the ruffles down like that. That works out. I wasn't sure how it was going to turn out. Now I'm curious though to see how it would turn out if I did 5. So if I did 5 loops together, 5 loops with 4 inside of them, it probably is not going to be as ruffly. And so, well, let's spread this out and see how it looks not ruffly. So there's how it is not ruffly. This side is ruffly. And so this side is not ruffly. This side is ruffly. So we've got half of it is ruffly, the other half of it is not ruffly. And so, well, and it would make a dress too, actually. Let's see. A flower! Oh my goodness! We turned it into a flower. Just that fast. Look at what we got, a flower. Oh my gosh. What kind of flower is this? A rose? Let's see. Wait a minute. Let's see what we got here. Yeah. We just turned this into a rose, didn't we? Into some kind of a flower. Let's see here. We sure did. Look at that. That's pretty cool. I like that. That was pretty quick and easy. What did we get it done in less than an hour? Okay, and then we've got this stem down here, which was my star. So I turned my star. Now, would I do the star the same way? I would not do it the same way. I would just make loops. I would just make chains. So if I did this again, I wouldn't include the star in here like this. I would just make chains and then repeat what I just did here to make the flower. You see the flower we have? It almost looks like a chrysanthemum. Or no, it is a rose, isn't it? It's a nice and big rose too. I like that actually. I always have to remember when I get something full and ruffly like that, turn it into a flower. Let's see. Oh! What is, no, not a water lily. So we could pull the center up like this. We could pull it in like that. And then work these around. So we could have a different color center like that. So there's a bud in this. I like that too. Oh my gosh, I like this. Look at that. Two different types of flowers here just from what we did. I didn't even plan on making a flower, and here I did two. Two flowers out of the same thing, and it works. It works really, really well. Oh my goodness. Plus, we did broomstick lace without a broom. Look at that. Awesome. Isn't that pretty cool? Okay. So we could even leave the flower like that too, kind of spread out like that. I like this too. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's move it up like that. That's kind of what it looks like on there. And of course the back side looks kind of more like the other flower that we did. Well. I think that's it. I think I'm done for right now. And we'll do something. If you have any suggestions, leave them in the comments somewhere. And if you have something we want to do, or a trend or something, you know, I mean, well, we could make a Bitcoin flower. Would anybody want to make a Bitcoin flower? You could do a Bitcoin, we could do a Bitcoin paper flower, a Bitcoin crochet flower. You see where I'm going with this? Because that's how it works. We could do a Bitcoin flower. Yeah, I know we could. A Bitcoin flower. So that's where my brain goes with this. We can color flowers whatever we want to call them. So if we want to call them a Bitcoin flower, we got a Bitcoin flower. So we'll see you guys the next time. Thanks for watching.